Siddhis. Welcome to another session of Social Science. In this session, we are going to begin our History Chapter 3. The name of the chapter is Ruling the Countryside. So, after getting Diwan or after becoming Diwan, the English East India Company or the Britishers began to rule our country and they implemented several land revenue policies that we are going to discuss in this chapter. And there were three land revenue systems introduced by the Britishers. First one was Zamindari, also known as permanent settlement. Second one Mahalwari. Third one Raitwari. So just go into the details. First one is Zamindari system or permanent system. From the word itself you can identify. Permanent means fixed. The rate of revenue was fixed. There will be no change in the rate of revenue. And it was introduced by Cornwallis in 1793. And it was introduced in the provinces of Bengal, Bihar, Orissa and Varanasi. So, permanent settlement. In permanent settlements, Zamindars will be collecting the revenue from the peasants and they will be paying it to the British officials. So, it is also called a permanent settlement is also called a Zamindari system. And there were some problems in the permanent settlement. Means, the revenue was fixed at such a high rate that Zamindars found it difficult to collect from the peasants. So, a Zamindar who failed to pay the revenue will be lost their Zamindari. And hence, Zamindars were not investing on their land. That was the problem of permanent settlement. And the next system was Mahalwari system. Mahals means villages. So, village to village, the rate of revenue will be changed. According to this system, according to Mahalwari system, the company collected taxes remitted by the village heads or heads of joint families and not from the individual farmers. So, in between British officials and the peasants who were there, village headman will be there and they will be collecting the revenue and paying to the British officials. And this was introduced by R.M. Bird and James Thompson. This system was introduced in Ganga Valley, northwestern provinces, central provinces and Punjab. And instead of landlords, Mahaldars are appointed to collect revenue. And Mahaldars were same like landlords. They also looted the farmers. And the terms Zamindari, Peasantry and Mahalwari systems sound different but were the same. The next is Raitwari system, and Raitwari system is also known as Munro system because it was introduced by Thomas Munro. And land was measured and taking into account its fertility and irrigation. After measuring the land's fertility and irrigation facilities, rate of revenue will be fixed. And Rait means the peasants or the farmers. And in Raitwari system, the British officials directly collected taxes from the peasants. So, revenue was collected with the help of local hereditary officers and there was periodical assessment of the land. In between, they will be assessing the land fertility and there will be change in the rate of revenue. So, this system introduced mostly in the southern and western India. So, that's where the three land revenue system introduced by the Britishers. So, the next concept in this chapter is cultivation of indigo in India. And indigo was a flowering plant which grows in the tropical areas. And by 13th century, it was used for dyeing clothes in Italy, France and Britain. And supply of indigo was very small. But India is having trade relation with the France and very high price costed for the indigo. What happened is, in Britain, they achieved industrial revolution, especially in textile industry. Because of industrial revolution, they need more indigo. So, the British officials pressurized or compelled the Indian peasants to cultivate indigo in India. This is the picture of indigo plant, and Indian indigo was very fine and thick colored indigo. That's why there arises a big demand for indigo from the side of Britishers and they compelled Indian peasants to cultivate indigo. And they followed two methods of indigo cultivation. First one was niche cultivation. Under this system, the planter produced indigo on those lands which were under his direct control. And planter either bought the land or or rented from other zamindars. He directly employed laborers and produced indigo. This was the first system of indigo cultivation, but there were some problems under niche cultivation. See, indigo could only be cultivated in fertile lands, and all the fertile lands are densely populated. So, plots available under niche cultivation was very low. That was the first problem faced under niche cultivation. Then the planters attempted to lease in the land around the indigo factory. While doing so, they evicted the peasants lived there. So that created discontent among the peasants. And the second system was ryoty system. And ryot means peasants. So under this ryoty system, indigo cultivators or cultivation was done by ryots, the peasants. All the activities were done by the peasants. The planters made ryots to sign a contract between them. So, sometimes village headman will be signing the agreement with the planters and peasants. After signing the contract, the peasants will be getting a cash advance. And seeds and drills are also provided by the planter. Cash delivery and seeds and drills were provided by the planter. All other works were done by ryots. Ryots means peasants. The cultivators prepared the land, sowed the seed and looked after the crop. So, the cultivators or the ryots are investing more in cultivation indigo in ryoty system. But the planters bought the indigo at a low price. That also led to problems in between planters and the cultivators. And anyhow, this resulted in a rebellion called Blue Rebellion. Why it is called Blue Rebellion? Because it is in the name of indigo. And thousands of ryots in Bengal refused to grow in 1859. And the ryots refused to pay rents to the planters. They attacked the factories. They used to be armed with the swords and spears. Even women also participated in Blue Rebellion. Those who worked for the planters were socially boycotted. And the Gomastas were beaten up when they came to collect rent. In many villages, village headman mobilized the indigo peasants against the Lathials. The headmen were angry because they had been forced to sign the agreement with the planters. Anyhow, after the rebellion, what happened is indigo cultivation totally collapsed in Bengal and the planters were shifted to Bihar. But in Bihar also, they implemented the same policies. That also led to some problems. So, what all topics covered? Land revenue policies of Britain and Blue Rebellion. I hope you all understand this session. Thank you.